explain it today won't make sense because we're adults. I'm an adult now, and I get how silly it sounds, but you also have to put yourself in that person's time and in their shoes. And people always put themselves in today's time in their own shoes. You can't do that. If someone was sexually assaulted as a teenager in the 70s in college, you can't look at the way colleges are set up for men or women in 2026. You have to look at the way it was set up in the 70s and work your way backwards. And folks don't do that.
And also, if they are, let's say you watch a movie like Spotlight, which was the story about the Boston reporters who finally uncovered the decades-long abuse by the Catholic Church.
Yes.
And you're aware that situation that was covered up. I mean, so give grace in every situation.
You have to.
And the thing is that the only reason that you care about a woman who did not go to the authorities or didn't tell whoever you think she should in the way that you think she should is because it now impacts you.
Correct.
That's the only reason you care about this.
I always say 2 words. Anita Hill. She told people, she told Congress, and no one believed her.
Yep. I'm trying to figure out how we turn a corner for our next guest, because they're probably sitting in the conference room going, "Oh my God, what are we getting ourselves into?" I want to say this: we are talking to our friends from the Illinois Park and Recreation Association, and I am the product of the Illinois Park Association in many ways.
Beautiful.
I love our beautiful parks. This state has such a network of great park districts. I'm so proud to have gone to day camps here, to continue to have sent my kids to the playgrounds in the state of Illinois. I have an ex-boyfriend who runs a park district in
Don't we all,
Champaign-Urbana.
darling?
It's so
Hey,
funny.
Chad.
Yeah, I don't know how that. What's funny? When I ran for office, you know how you go in front of the endorsement sessions and stuff like that. For folks who don't know, when you want the endorsement of a particular group, and I live in the northwest side of Chicago, and I would want to appear in front of the police department regardless. So I had to appear in front of the Fraternal Order of Police, and they asked me if anybody in my family was in the police department, and I said no, but I've dated cops. And I don't know why I said that out loud to anybody's face at all.
I would never say that out loud.
That was so weird. I was like, why did I just say that? I'm like, I'm cop adjacent. I don't know what that means. I actually applied for the Chicago Police Department Academy.
Wait, what does that? You're cop adjacent.
I'm cop adjacent. I don't know.
You could do citizen's arrest. What does that mean?
There's so many terrible things in my head to say about
Me
having
too.
dated a
That's why I'm
police
shutting
officer.
up.
So anyway, I guess that's the best I can do for turning the corner and wiping the slate clean.
Heather and Pam, the environment has been lightened. We can't wait to see you.
Park district directors and cops is what we've learned in the last 35 seconds. Let's take a quick break here and invite our friends in from the Illinois Park and Recreation Association, because we're going to talk about Unplug Illinois coming up this weekend, Saturday 11th. So make your plans on the park. I am so spoiled. I live across the street from a glorious park. More in a moment with Ken Mejia Beal, my guest co-host today. My Hump Day Honey joins me in studio, and I'm so glad to have you all here today. More in a moment.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Regina Cole. For this evening, we'll see passing clouds coming in as temperatures drop back to 72. Showers and storms are likely for Thursday. We'll see mostly cloudy skies, cooler temperatures to a high in the mid-80s. Showers and storms forecast to continue into Thursday night. Mostly cloudy with a low around 68. Then for Friday, areas of showers and storms in the morning, dry after that. With a mix of sun and clouds throughout the day, we hit a high around 83. Mostly cloudy Friday night, a low of 66. That's your latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 88 degrees.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter. Think Theory Radio.
We're joined by Allie Mae Miller, hypnotherapist.
Hypnosis is portrayed in media in general. Manipulation, mind control. People think it's like a truth serum. My clients describe it as they're in control the whole time. It's definitely not a truth serum. The client decides what they share with me, even in a state of hypnosis.
Think Theory Radio with Damian Perdue. Saturdays at 6 p.m. on WCPT 820. Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
Or
and Pete.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining us as we continue our drive home. I am so thrilled. One, I'm going to reintroduce my guest co-host. Ken Mejia Beal joins us in studio. He is the Midwest Chair for the Victory Fund. Go to victoryfund.org and support the work that they do to elect more folks in positions to reflect our justice in this country, to proudly lead justly, and all the leads. That's
all the leads.
Well, that's why I want you to watch the movie 1776. There's a song about all the leads. Once I get into it, it's just kind of silly.
So you want me to watch a musical?
A musical,
okay.
Yes. But we'll talk about it some other time.
Okay.
That's not what we're here for.
That's not what, thank God.
When my friend John Harris messaged me and he said, would you be interested in having our friends from the Illinois Park and Recreation Association join you to talk about an event coming up? I said, yes, because this was one of my favorite conversations last year. So I'm so thrilled to welcome our friends, Heather and Pam from the Illinois Park and Recreation Association. Heather Weishart, is that how I say
you got
that?
it.
And Pam Hamill from the Addison Park District. And we're going to talk about Unplug Illinois, which is coming up this Saturday. Hi, ladies. How are you doing?
Hi,
Hello.
thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us back again
course.
this year. This is always a fun conversation to have.
Well, welcome back.
Yeah, the 8th annual Unplug Illinois Day is coming up on Saturday. We have nearly 70 events happening throughout the state. Campouts, cookouts, yoga in the park. Pam's got some great activities going on in Addison that she can talk about. We're really excited.
I'm really excited. And Pam, you're with the Addison Park District.
I am.
So tell us a little about yourself. Where'd you grow up, my friend?
Oh, I grew up in St. Louis.
Oh my goodness, St. Louis has some great parks too.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh my
Lots of nice parks.
What's that one? The Jewel Box or something? That big.
Oh yeah, that was part of the 1904 World's Fair.
Yes,
and I believe it's still there.
It is.
Yeah,
I was there.
It's beautiful.
The park. I did not know about that gorgeous park. It's
Forest
truly,
Park.
Yeah, it's truly a gem.
Beautiful.
Really wonderful. So, what brought you to Illinois?
So, the job.
The job.
Yeah. So excited to be here.
Yeah,
love the area. I like to call myself a Chicagoan now, although I live in the burbs.
We'll take it.
But
I love that's not about it. Yeah.
We won't tell anybody.
Not at all. How long have you worked in Park District sort of functions and in the system?
So I've been with Addison Park District for 4 years.
Okay.
It has been, it's such a great industry to work in because, one, you get to have fun.
Yeah.
And then, two, I think also like it's just so positive and so like family focused and it touches everybody.
It does.
Like we work with, kids as young as preschool up to yesterday, as a matter of fact, we celebrated the 105th birthday of one of our senior club members.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Winnie. The mayor came in. He had issued a big proclamation that the city of Addison was officially wishing her a happy birthday. So it was amazing. It was really
lovely.
awesome.
That is beautiful.
So it's a great industry to work in because you connect with people each and every day.
I feel like this, having these conversations is also a way to recruit folks to continue to work for park districts everywhere.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
From day camp counselors, lifeguards. By the way, I was a lifeguard for the Chicago Park District for a couple of years, which was one of the best jobs of my entire life. And also the programs. You just mentioned the senior programs. Yeah. My mother goes to the senior programs here on the northwest side of Chicago at our park district. And Heather, yourself, when did you start working for the park system?
Well, I started with IPRA. It'll be 25 years in November.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yep. Pam and I were just talking about that while we were waiting
baby.
to come in.
I'm sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
But I was telling Pam, I just love this serving Parks and Rec professionals and just the work that they do every day and helping to bring awareness to these great programs. And as you mentioned, the employment opportunities, going from seasonal camp counselors and pool lifeguards to executive directors of park districts. There's opportunities for everybody, so it's great.
Like I mentioned, I've dated an executive director of park district, and I think he makes pretty good money. Is all I'm saying.
They do,
and he has fun. It's a job that I think that it was kind of like that was always his path, was to, and in his community. I think there are a lot of folks that seem to also, whether they've always lived in that community and now serve in that function. Like there's a woman who owns a bakery. She retired from the Chicago Park District after about 20 years, and she used to run the park right across the street from me, across from where she grew up. Right, so it's sort of a wonderful way to stay in the community, and also come to a new community and have those connections is wonderful too.
What I can't, every time I meet someone who works for the park district, it doesn't seem like work. Like you guys love it. I've never met anybody that works for the park district. It's like I have to go to work at the park district.
I feel like there's a lot of joy in the industry, you know? It's a hard work, but I feel like there is a lot of joy.
There is. So, for the Unplug Illinois event, I had to stage some pictures to promote some of the things we're doing. And it's like a lot of the people that come into our buildings, like you start to recognize them, whether it's the kids at summer camp or whether it's the seniors. And, and then they feel special because you're like, oh, will you be one of my models? I need to take a picture of a kid coloring a kite, and then it's just, you just realize every day you connect with people, and it's a lot of fun.
That's beautiful.
That's fantastic. I love that so much. So how long has Unplug Illinois been an event?
This is our 8th year.
Okay.
We're going strong. There's a lot of interest still, and I feel like communities are really still buying into the fact that this is an important day, even if it's one day to unplug, just to take advantage of all of these opportunities that are literally right in your backyard. Communities throughout Illinois have park and recreation departments and agencies that are planning programming continuously throughout the year. There's literally something for everybody.
Yep.
And a lot of times it's little or no cost. And it's just really important to help build community and to use this day to get people out to take advantage of some of these events.
I had to imagine that during COVID that Unplug even had more because people wanted to do something and to gather because we weren't able to indoors. So interesting that it might have been, if it was 8 years ago. So in 2018, is that 2019?
Yeah, and we've grown in the number of events every year. Yeah, so it's been fun to see.
That's fantastic. And the other thing is, I grew up in Norwood Park, which is a community on the northwest side of Chicago, and I was just over on the other day, and it does seem more than there has been in the last decade, kids out on their bikes and at the park.
Yes.
Have you noticed that too?
Yes, there are a lot more kids outside.
Yeah, I have noticed, and I have to think you guys maybe have a lot to do with that.
We'll take full credit for that.
No, you should.
Yeah,
you should. I think there's been a transition from, and I hope it continues from, folks being plugged in. Yeah, I used it. Unplug. I did it. You're welcome. No, from being plugged in to actually getting out and disconnecting and actually connecting with other people and riding bikes and getting on swings. And the parks around my house are always crowded, which is great.
I was at a concert, no joke, probably 2 months ago, and the artist told the crowd, put your phones down.
Yeah.
Because all they could see was everyone just filming.
Yes.
And to me, I went immediately to Unplug Illinois. I was thinking, look at this, but it was just put the phone, be in the moment.
Yes.
Appreciate the moment. Put the phone down.
And it's funny, I've been to a few shows lately where they have these, and there's a name for it, this bag thing that you put your cell phone in, and they lock it at the door, and they give you the bag back. What is the name of the bag? Listeners, help me. But they unlock it if you need it again, but you cannot be in the concert with the phone. Every concert I go to where that happens, it is the best concert ever.
Yeah.
It is the best.
Their venue mandated locking pouches. Yonder, the
Yonder bag. Thank you.
Interesting. The Yonder bag.
Yonder.
That would not be something I would have access to.
They're called the Yonder bags. They're amazing.
That's really
great
smart
concept.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so they get locked.
They get locked.
Well, because the idea is, and the thing about being at a park, either you're with somebody enjoying, playing catch, whether it's a frisbee. I know I saw some last time I got frisbees and things like that, or hiking, walking, swimming.
Yes.
You don't need your phone.
You don't.
You don't need to take a picture of it. This is just be in the moment. Be mindful, right?
Yes. And it's one of the excuses that folks like to give is, well, what if? And I'm not that old, but I was born in the 80s, and I remember a time where you were just out in the world, and yes, things can happen, but you weren't so worried about it that you weren't like, I can't go to the grocery store because what if something, like, you have to live your life. So I whenever I go for any walks or any hikes, or I'm doing my outdoor thing, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I just listen to my music and I just go for it. And nothing has ever happened. I've never missed anything.
I love it. We are in studio with Heather Weishaupt at Illinois Park and Recreation Association and Pam Hamill from our Addison Park District for Unplug Illinois. On Saturday, July 11th, you can join almost 100 agencies across the state supporting Unplug Illinois Day by holding events, by attending events that encourage people throughout Illinois to ditch their electronic devices and unplug to enjoy everything that their local park recreation and conservation agencies have to offer. You can go to unplugillinois.org you type in what you're looking for, show what events are happening. Like in Zion Park District, you can put the screens away. There's a full bunch of fun at the Park District. Join it. We have active play. All kinds of stuff is happening. The Great Ball Pursuit. We'll find out more about these events when we come back on WCPT.
Absolutely.
So the whole calendar is available at unplugillinois.org. Again, that's unplugillinois.org. And there's also, if you happen to work for Park District, there's also some more information for you to enjoy. We'll be right back with our guests in studio, including my guest co-host, Ken Mejia Beal, who joins me every Wednesday. And thank you so much for being my
Hump Day Honey.
Hump Day Honey. I'll say
Hump Day Honey.
More after this on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150 in Seattle, KTNF. Well, they're coming later, but I'll say them anyway. KTNF AM 950. Thank you to our friends tuning in digitally on Facebook, YouTube, and now Minocqua Brewing Company. Please consider subscribing and sharing with your friends and family so they can join the conversation too. But on Saturday, leave your phone at home, or at least just turn it off.
Turn it off. Put it on airplane mode.
Yeah. Whatever it takes. More after this.
I am often asked, why is it important to have a living trust? The most important reason is control. Being able to control where your investment accounts, retirement accounts, and your home go upon your passing. This is Tony Moret. I've been an estate planning lawyer here in the Chicago area for over 35 years. You have probably heard my ads here on WCPT over the last several years, and it has been a privilege to be on their airwaves. The reality is, for most people, their assets will go through a court-supervised process in probate court, which can be expensive and takes many months. Having a living trust will make sure this does not happen. Control of your assets will be handled directly by your trusted family member or friend. I will explain every step of the process to make sure you are comfortable with the plan as we move forward. Please call me at 847-996-0496 to start. There is no fee for the initial consultation and no obligation. Again, my phone is 847-996-0496. I look forward to speaking with you.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds, and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you, with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So, yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou, because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds, too. Get a quote right now at 800-560-0301, 800-560-0301, or biglou.com.
Paid for by term provider. Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Here's great news for those Chicagoans heading up to southern Wisconsin. Should you ever forget to load up on Progressive brews from the local favorites like Rogers Park Provisions or Park West Liquor in Lincoln Park, Minocqua Brewing Company beer is now conveniently available at Dream Liquor and Cigar in Kenosha and in the Lake Geneva area at Delavan Liquor and Smoke in Delavan. If the great town of Madison, Wisconsin is your jam, please remember to swing into the Minocqua Brewing Company tap room at 2927 East Washington Avenue to grab some Resistance beer, pizza, t-shirts, and Progressive camaraderie.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue our conversation here on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150 in Seattle. Of course, all our friends tuning in digitally on Facebook, on YouTube, now on Minocqua Brewing Company's Substack, where you can catch a lot of the work that some of the writers do, including Ben Cominos and me. And tomorrow, Michael Jocham will be on. And Karen Byrne from True Blue Politics will be writing a column this Saturday. So thank you so much to Karen. And, of course, we have our shows on there. We'll also have office hours. And you can see all of our wonderful guests in the studio, including my guest co-host, my Hump Day Honey. We have Ken Mejia-Beal joining us in studio.
Thank you.
He's the Midwest Chair for the Victory Fund. Also joining us today to talk about Unplug Illinois. You can go to unplugillinois.org. And Unplug Illinois is happening this Saturday, July 11th. Joining me are Heather Weissart and from the Illinois Park and Recreation Association and Pam Hamill from the Addison Park District for Unplug Illinois. Thank you so much for joining us. I really am excited about Saturday. Tell us a little bit, do you have any, do you go to some of the park districts? What do you do on this date?
I wake up early and I try to hit as many events as I can on Saturday and take pictures and just make sure that the folks that are running the events know that the Illinois Park and Recreation Association appreciates their work. I like to talk to the community members, get their feedback about the day, and just thank them too for adopting the mission and just share the love and get tired out, get some sun, and it'll be great.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Over the 8 years, this is the 8th year.
Yeah.
Do you have any moments that jump out at you as sort of a moment that you kind of relish?
One of the first events that I went to was a camp out. I think it was at the Northbrook Park District, and it was maybe it must have been pre-COVID. But it was just really cool. They literally just had one of their parks and families set up tents, and they had s'more stations and popcorn and snacks and all of the outdoor activities. And I was just thinking to myself, this is fantastic. Yeah. And, anytime you get a lot of kids together to, even just the simple joys of watching them play on a playground or exploring a new park is always so fun. So I just love that.
That's fantastic. And how about you? I know this is your 4th year.
Yeah, and this year we're even more excited because we just grand opened this particular park that we're doing the event at. So the park itself is just beautiful. It's a beautiful playground. It's accessible. We have stuff planned for adults in the morning. We've got outdoor Zumba led by 2 instructors. We've got free trials of our running club. And then around 10 to 12 is kind of where our family-centric programming is. So I'm going to ask you guys a question.
Yes.
Have you ever seen in person Chicago Kite?
No, I don't know if I've seen Chicago Kite.
So we've only seen it through Facebook, and they've got a great Facebook page, but we are actually having Chicago Kite on site, and they have, if you go to their Facebook page.
I'm going right now.
They have these amazing, giant kites of sharks and fish.
Oh, I have to check it out.
Oh my God. I know, right? This is amazing.
I know.
This is amazing. There's like dolphins and horses and
I know. So
we
don't know what they're bringing, but we keep checking the weather because it's how much do you promote it? And then maybe it's the conditions aren't right.
Have you been watching them?
It looks great.
Isn't that beautiful?
It looks like it's going to be.
Those look like they need to be flown by professionals.
I know, and they are professionals, which is awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
I mean, they're so big, so a kid could go
huge. So we're really excited to have them on site. Literally Googling this morning, what are perfect conditions for flying a kite? And it's exactly what it looks like it's going to be Saturday. So we're really excited about Chicago Kite. In addition to that, we have a make your own kite. Mm-hmm. So we'll be giving out these kits to the kids. We've got 180 Sports is going to be doing a free basketball camp for the kids. So we've got all kinds of games, crafts, free ice, cold treats. We've got all kinds of stuff planned. Pet rocks, you can come paint a pet rock. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on, and
it's
we're
endless.
Really excited.
The thing about events like this is I bet people try to top each other too with the different park districts.
I'm sure.
Do you compete with the other park districts?
You can say yes.
I can everybody.
Yes,
and some you admire because you like the great work you just mentioned. That's a really cool idea to do a marshmallow roast in the middle of a park. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We might
I
steal
know.
that for next year.
I was going to say, I hear the wheels turning like, I'm sorry. What is that? I would love that too.
Like we can do.
Exactly. For me, anything where there's a slumber party, I'm in. I like anything like
and
that.
S'mores.
Yeah.
S'mores are great.
Can't go wrong.
Plus, I mean, like if you have like, I don't know how they set it up with the families and stuff like that, but from everything, I love that. So from morning to night and overnight, even it sounds like in some places. Again, the event is Unplug Illinois. Go to unplugillinois.org and you can see all the different events that they're going to have. I see a woman in that's not you in the bouncy house, is it?
It is not.
I was going to say.
I do love a bouncy house, though.
Oh, I was going to say that I'm like, this looks like so much. Like they wear, I think it's a Velcro suit.
It might be. I know what picture you're talking about.
It's so funny, like a puffy suit. I'm like, what is this? I want to go to, because that's the point, though. It's not just for kids.
No,
this is for everybody. This is for adults to be kids again, too. You know?
Yes, adults, we can have fun too.
What?
I know, it's crazy.
There's so much happening. Okay, I want folks. I want a commitment from my audience, and you don't have to message me, but I want to see photos on Saturday. Because people can text me photos to the text screen.
Please.
So I feel like I can give away. I think I can give away some.
But after you take the photos, put your phone back away.
Yes.
We have to be very clear.
Have it on airplane mode while you take the photo. It's still on airplane mode.
Airplane mode. Take the photo and then put it back. Send it later.
Get a disposable camera. Just go find a photo hut.
Do they still make
those photo huts?
You can get a Polaroid camera now, though.
Yes, you can.
They're very popular again.
Trendy.
Yeah.
Very cool. I am so excited. So, and obviously, so you're going to drive around, but there's a big, wide state. What's the farthest you think you'll go on Saturday to check out the Park District events?
Oh, I haven't even tried mapping it out yet. I mean, a couple of years ago, I drove up to Lindenhurst. I've been to Northbrook, Wheeling. Mm-hmm. Some IPRA staff sometimes will
send you photos of what's going on down there.
That's a huge radius for those who don't know.
Yeah. You should tell them to send you pictures. Not all day. Tell them to send them to you on Sunday.
Yeah, on Sunday.
Unplugged. Exactly. Oh my God, how fun! Again, folks, it's this entire this was started in 2014. Who did you know? Like the idea?
Yeah, the idea was born in 2014, just as a way to start thinking through how to promote the value of parks and recreation in Illinois. And like I said, in all of these opportunities that are happening in your neighborhoods throughout the state, that was the first step. The second step became Unplug Illinois Day, which is just our focus every summer, second Saturday in July.
And while this event is this Saturday, then they also have Park District, a lot of events just all the time, like Take a Hike Tuesday, which...
I want to take a hike.
Yeah, exactly.
I know some of my social media followers keep telling me to take a hike. I'm ready. Here it comes.
and I really appreciate. Right. I'll take a hike.
I'll take a hike.
I love that you have resources for some of the video of some of the paths that people can find on the website.
Yep, on the website there's a lot of activities for children to do that are unplugged and resources for parents. Definitely check it out. There's some good ideas there.
I love that. And for Addison Park District, what do you want folks to know about the parks in Addison, Illinois, and what they should be enjoying?
So we recently grand opened 2 new parks with playgrounds, and they're beautiful. They're accessible. We're as we continue to redo the parks, we're getting away from that woodchuck. The mulch.
Yeah, I hate that stuff.
We're moving to all rubber surfacing.
Right.
So I think the safety and the inclusivity is growing. And we're just excited to continue to serve the community. And, it's a great community to live and grow and play in.
I have to say, I have a child who has severe disabilities, and the park that we live near, Chicago Park District, it's funny because a lot of parents like me will look at a park and be like, could my child play there? And the growth of that has been astounding. So thank you to all the folks who make those designs possible and bring them to life. Ours has like a ramp. So, I mean, maybe he only get to a certain point when he could still walk, though he would climb all the way to the top, go down the slide. It gave him that opportunity. I know we're seeing a lot more swings that are wheelchair friendly. Of course, the seating with the full support of the core. Yeah. So how fun to be a part of a system that also you get to see people play all the time. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Do you have are there any activities that you participate in?
Oh, that I personally do?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I joined running club, which I will say, joining that in your early 50s, I have no idea what I was thinking. But But so I do that. I work out at our fitness center. Like it's a great work-life balance. And then like those perks you get, like a fitness membership and being in the community, it really is a great place to work. So yeah, it's been great.
I highly encourage it, folks. If you, whether you're new to a community, relatively new, or if you've been there your whole life, what's funny is I'll run into people like when I'm like, I should go for a lap swim at Norwood, and then I see people I swam with in high school who I graduated with 40 years ago almost. 40 years ago. Anyway, Heather, how about you? Do you have some of the events that you like to participate in? Some favorites?
I like yoga. I like to dabble in Pilates every now and then. One of my favorite things to do in my community, though, is just to walk the Forest Preserve path that's nearby. It's very shaded, so in this weather, it's lovely. But, now that my kids are older, I'm not enjoying the playgrounds so much, but I do. I get that soft spot when I drive by and I see all the kids out and stuff like that. So
it's a warm place in our hearts. Absolutely. Well, everybody, remember, Unplug Illinois is this Saturday, July 11th. We encourage you to go to the website unplugillinois.org. And it's a campaign created by the Illinois Park and Recreation Association, encouraging people to unplug from their electronic devices and plug into play, creativity, friendship, adventure, and family. And I want to see your photos next week, everybody.
Let's see some pictures.
Let's do this.
On airplane mode.
On airplane. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Please.
Thank you both so much for coming in the studio.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. And have a great Unplug on Saturday. Thank you. Awesome. We'll be right back after this on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal. Joining us in a moment is going to be Marcus King, candidate for DuPage County Board District 3. You can go to marcuskingfordupage.com to learn about our guest before he comes in studio. More in a moment on WCPT, KKNW, and digital. Hi, everybody.
Amazon Business. Discover smart business buying, where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Residents and hotel guests are being allowed to return to a Midtown Manhattan neighborhood that's been cordoned off. Julie Walker explains.
A 37-story building under construction in Manhattan is said to be stable after support columns buckled Tuesday, prompting fears of a partial collapse, forcing evacuations around 42nd Street on the east side. Buildings Commissioner Ahmed Tagani.
I can say right now that the building is stable. It has not moved since we started monitoring it.
The old Pfizer headquarters is being converted to a residential tower with an addition added on when workers saw columns on 21 buckling.
We feel confident in the emergency plan that we have now to make it stable.
Drexel University engineering professor Abby Agayure says they need to find the cause to fix the issues, which include reinforcing the columns.
Was it the design engineers, fault? Was it the construction workers? Did they cut something they were not supposed to cut? Did they remove a member they were not supposed to remove?
Julie Walker, New York.
In Turkey today,
I'll give them a little warning. We're going to hit them hard tonight.
President Trump foreshadowing another round of U.S. strikes on Iran. Military officials say they're intended to further degrade Iran's ability to threaten freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian state media reports explosions in several locations, including Bandar Abbas on the strait and Bushehr, home to Iran's nuclear power plant complex. The renewed strike sent oil prices climbing, Brent crude up more than 5%, settling just above $78 per barrel. And stocks were shaky worldwide. On Wall Street, the Dow lost 576 points, or 1.1%. The S&P fell 0.3%, the Nasdaq 0.2%. And minutes of the Fed's latest interest rate meeting show policymakers split over whether inflation is likely to stay elevated or whether it will cool once the Iran war winds down. This is AP News. A surprise swap as President Trump headed home from the NATO summit.
The president arrived in Ankara this week aboard a newly gifted Qatari jet serving as Air Force One.
There's never been a plane like it.
But as he left Turkey,
we'll be going home by normal methods.
On a plane that's ferried presidents for nearly 40 years. The switch raised fresh security concerns about the new plane, which the U.S. spent some $400 million to retrofit. Images show it does not have some of the same missile detection and countermeasures as the older planes. The swap happened after the U.S. resumed strikes on Iran.
I'm number one on the kill list for Iran.
But the president would not directly say whether security issues played a role. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
More news at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
This is 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Regina Kroll. For this evening, we'll see passing clouds coming in as temperatures drop back to 72. Showers and storms are likely for Thursday. We'll see mostly cloudy skies, cooler temperatures to a high in the mid-80s. Showers and storms forecast to continue into Thursday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 68. Then for Friday, areas of showers and storms in the morning, dry after that. With a mix of sun and clouds throughout the day, we hit a high around 83. Mostly cloudy Friday night, a low of 66. That's your latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 88 degrees.
Hi, I'm Kevin Love. People see the NBA career, the championship ring. But what they don't always see is the anxiety or the moments I felt completely lost. That's why Sony Pictures Animation's film GOAT means so much to me. It's about Will Harris, a small goat who believes in himself and proves you don't have to be the biggest to be a champion.
Everyone's always told me smalls can't ball. I'm too blessed to be stressed. Everything I need to succeed is right here.
Through the Kevin Love Fund, we've created GOAT Beyond the Game, a completely free curriculum for teachers, coaches, parents, and youth programs. 4 lessons designed for kids K through 8 that cover everything from managing anger to building resilience to believing in yourself when the world doubts you. These are evidence-based tools that actually work and will help kids discover that they have the power to change the game. Go to kevinlovefund.org right now and download GOAT Beyond the Game for free.
Because facts matter. You're listening to WCPT 820.
Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing asses says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. We continue our conversation. Joining me in studio is my hump day honey, Ken Mejia Beal.
He's back and his mic is back on, too.
It's so funny. I wish we had like lights individually because I turned mine on first so I can let people settle in because I know I kind of, there's a bit of a frenzy when I do my show.
It's chaos.
Okay, fine.
I cannot wait for us to do the behind the scenes.
Someday we'll
It'd be
have
a lot of bleeping.
A lot of bleeping. Yeah. That would be very true.
And there'd be lawsuits.
Absolutely. Ken, would you like to introduce the guest that we have for this set? Yes.
This guest is a personal friend of mine. And he is running for candidate for DuPage County Board in District 3, and he will talk about what that covers. But Marcus King is somebody that and I don't use the word endorse often. I don't but this guy has my endorsement.
Yay.
Thank you. Yeah, he's going to win. So let's talk to Marcus King, candidate for DuPage County Board, District 3.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, thank you, and thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. I watch you all the time, so this is a tremendous honor.
Is it weird? You're like, what am I doing inside the studio?
I'm happy you came in.
Yes. It's so much more fun to be here.
Yeah. It is a lot of fun.
Yep, I'll come anytime. Yeah, it seems like a lot of fun, though. You have some great guests. So
I appreciate that.
Thank you for
That's
having
why you're here, because you're going to be a great guest.
Exactly. Tell us about yourself, Marcus. Where'd you grow up, my friend?
Oh, so I grew up in many different places. So I'm actually running for DuPage County Board, District 3. So I moved to Wheaton in 6th grade. So I went to middle school and high school in DuPage County. So I'm basically running out of the area that I grew up.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's pretty exciting, but I do have Cook County ties. I went to elementary school in Bellwood, so shout out to the Woods, Bellwood and Maywood.
Excellent.
But definitely grew up in Wheaton, Illinois. I came of age in DuPage.
And what did you set out to when you were young? Thinking back, what you dreamt of, what your plans were, whether it was grade school or high school, college.
I think when I decided to really go into politics, it was probably tied into a lot of the classes that I was taking at SIU. I really just wanted to go to school and graduate. But
let's get through
the goal.
This first. But there is something to be said about. I have this conversation with young folks. Is that knowing what you want to do. I think we've kind of outgrown that. Because we live longer. And this idea that you have to know who you're going to be and what you're going to do when you're 22 is a lot.
It is a lot.
Absolutely.
What were you studying as a Saluki?
So as an undergrad as a Saluki, 2 things: journalism, concentration, integrated marketing communications, and sociology. And I think the sociology side pushed me into politics.
Okay.
That makes sense. Because the journalism side would have pulled you away from politics. Just a heads up.
Yeah, no kidding. These crazy people.
I have nothing to do with this.
So funny.
And tell us a little bit about after school. Like, what was some of the work that you've been doing since?
So when I finished at SIU Carbondale, I went straight to the governor's office and I worked for Governor Pat Quinn.
Oh.
And I was lucky enough to end up in the Office of Constituent Affairs, where one of the requirements was to really understand how state agencies work. So we really worked with the constituents, and I was in a fellowship. It was called the Dunn Fellowship. And it was supposed to be a year. I ended up for 18 months, and just being able to help people. I think that's one of the things that really, drove me. Just seeing everything that people were going through. I just wanted to change that. And now I'm doing something about it.
And in that position, I have to say, that's when I started advocating for families. I have a son, an adult son now, who has severe disabilities. And in about 2011, when Blagojevich, there came a moment. I don't know if you guys have any handle of this because you're both younger, but there was a moment when when President Obama won his seat, and there was this back and forth about whether Blagojevich wanted. He was under investigation.
How young do you think we are?
But at that age, I don't know that I would have been paying attention to it when I was your age at that point.
Okay, continue.
I would say, let's see, if you were born at any rate, were you young 20s? Were you younger? I wouldn't have been paying attention to that.
I don't think Marcus was. Sorry, that came out real shady. That's not how I meant it. Sorry.
So when Blagojevich, so there was a moment in the hallway. So my son was in early intervention, and I remember and he was aging out, and one of the providers, one of the great physical therapists said, "You're so lucky you're aging out because I'm going to drop all of my early intervention clients because there was a lot going on with checks not being signed because people behind the scenes, the executive branch, knew what was happening with the investigation." So and that continues to be an issue. And so when I met with Governor Quinn, because people had lost services and along the way, and I went down there during Rauner's administration, and look, Governor Pritzker, definitely listens and has held meetings and collaborates. Governor Quinn was on his way out of town. It was a Thanksgiving. He was leaving for the Thanksgiving weekend, and somebody said that several moms needed to speak to him. He came back. He said, and he came back and sat down with me at one of his big conference tables in the governor's office, and asked me what's the experience. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just getting chills just thinking about sitting down. It was amazing, and he wanted to learn more because he didn't know enough about what it was like to raise a child like Declan. So I understand completely. I have a picture of Governor Quinn watching Governor Pritzker win. He was at the WGN studios. So I have a picture from behind Governor Quinn watching Governor Pritzker accept the win.
That's cool.
How did you like working for Governor Quinn?
I really liked it. I think, one of the things that I really liked about Governor Pat Quinn, there were, like any major organization, there were a lot of different groups, but the people that I really worked with were just social advocates. I mean, There was Jacqueline O'Day. You know, she was not only my close friend, but she was my mentor. We had Ryan Croak, who's still there. We had Donna Dalton. So it was just like all of these amazing people. Then there was just a common goal to do the right thing. So we just worked on a lot of different things, a lot of advocacy. And I had a choice. When I was leaving my fellowship in the governor's office, I could have went to the Illinois Board of Higher Education, or I could have went to the Illinois Department of Corrections. But when I looked at corrections, I saw like all of the broken families, and they told me I could create a program for people on parole and probation, and it could benefit the, kids. And I started like looking at the unions, and I was like, you know what? The unions are so good with skilled trades. So when we're looking at our youth, but also looking at people out of correctional facilities, I feel like the skilled trades gives other people options. So, out of the DuPage, Kane County area, I always worked closely with Mark Gately from the Painters Council.
Yeah.
You know Mark Gately?
Yes, Mark is amazing.
He's a great guy. So we were just really able to make things happen for the people.
I love that. When I was in Springfield, I don't know if you're familiar with Social Change and Todd Belcour, who works.
Yeah. Tall, curly hair.
Yeah.
That's Todd.
That's Todd. Because he works in that space too, of working with families who are experiencing, whether it's post incarceration and things like that. So it's incredible work. So what was the inspiration for you to run for County Board of DuPage?
Just a lot of the background. I think one of the final straws for me was I was the director of strategy and communication for the Housing Authority of Cook County. So there were a lot of changes. So the funding that comes in from HUD, I oversaw a lot of that money that came in while being the media person. But I also got to deal with a lot of issues. I think there was a situation where people in Harvey, Illinois, they were boarded up in the building.
I remember that.
Yeah. It was awful.
It was horrible.
And I was the media person, so I started getting calls from a lot of people in the media and constituents, and I called a meeting, and we tried to really figure, I'm like, so what's going on? So a lot of the individuals just had needs. So they were basically getting kicked out of their homes on January 9th, which is my birthday. So there was a battle to get everybody rehomed. Then not just that situation, we got them rehomed, but there are grants. I found out about all the homeless kids in the high schools, so I started understanding like different grants, like vouchers that can keep kids from being homeless. And then I created a mental health program when I was at the Housing Authority of Cook County. It was a $5.8 million ARPA initiative, and it really cut down evictions and things like that. So just being in government for 15 years, I feel like a lot of people running for office don't really have the background or experience. And I'm not criticizing them, but I'm like, if you worked in the government space and you've been affected, you might as well run, so that's what I've decided to do.
I love that. You might as well get in there and help make decisions.
And I will say, do I have a moment to say something?
Of course,
okay.
yeah.
No, I'm watching the clock.
That's fair.
But when I first met Marcus, and I will say I lived in DuPage for a long time, knew immediately that this is someone that people can trust. And there are we say it all the time, so few folks that you can really trust in politics. More importantly, in that part of the state, we only have one black representative on the entire board, Michael Childress. That's it. Not only on the board, but in the entire county. And there's Michael Childress, and, I moved, and then there's still Terrell Barnes, who is simply amazing. But there's so few folks that people like myself who live in the county can go to who understand them. That's why it's so important to elect Marcus. And I feel the same way about my friend Peter Coolidge, who's running for sheriff, who is also on the show. Folks need to be represented.
Yep.
And that's, as we talked about last week, the reason I do what I do. So I strongly believe that Marcus, because of his background, because of your background, I'm talking about you like you're not here, I'm sorry. Because of your background, this is what folks need. And they can come to you without explaining 50 million things because you already understand. And that's why, if I could vote for you, I would do it.
We are in studio with, of course, my Hump Day honey, Ken.
Yes.
That's his title. He chose
That's
that.
my title.
And he demands, it's in his contract.
You say it at least 3 times.
Exactly. And joining us in studio, Marcus King, candidate for DuPage County Board, District 3. You can go to marcuskingfordupage.com. Again, that's marcuskingfordupage.com. We're going to take a break here, continue our conversation, find out more about the role of DuPage County Board members, because Illinois has, as we've talked about before, more municipalities than any other state in the country. Any other state. And so learning about what your particular municipality does is really important. Let's take a break here. Thank you to our sponsors, Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to Pride Coffee Roasters and put in an order for the best single origin roasted to order coffee beans you will ever have. And I know everyone showed their love and support during Pride Month, but we're queer all year, I'm just saying. And
I am.
I mean, and I'm an ally. I'm a queer ally all year. And put in an order for some of the best coffee beans. Every single cup of coffee tastes like a love letter in a mug from Jackie and Patti. So go to pridecoffeeroasters.com, put your order in. Thank you to our friends at Source Solar. Go to source.solar, make an appointment with Peter Sorellis. Maybe it's time to get solar panels on your house or business. He'll walk you through the entire process. And there's now an incentive for you because there's Solar for All Illinois, and he'll walk you through how the financing works with that so you can make sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck. When you go green, you save green, is all I'm saying as well. So also, we want to thank our friends at Minocqua Brewing Company, and hello to all of our friends who are watching the live stream. Good to have you here. Good to join this conversation. If you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, consider subscribing and inviting your friends and family to join the conversation as well. Get the word out, folks. More in a moment with my guests on WCPT 820, KKNW 1150, and KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul. More in a moment.
This is WCPT telling you how you can shop blue. As the Donald Trump administration forces ICE to go out grabbing innocent civilians off the streets, it's just kind of ironic how MAGA and even ICE themselves enjoy eating in Mexican restaurants. So let's look at some of the biggest Mexican restaurant chains that support the Democratic Party. Del Taco and Taco Cabana. Now, Del Taco and Taco Cabana are both owned by Yadav Enterprises. The company itself does not donate to politics. However, their founder and CEO, Anil Yadav, only donates to Democrats. Taco Bueno. Taco Bueno is owned by Sun Holdings. Sun Holdings as a company does not give to politics, but their CEO does, and he's kind of varies. He's donated to Hillary Clinton, and he's also donated to Marco Rubio. However, he has never donated a single cent to Donald Trump. So MAGA, since you have a problem with undocumented immigrants but love eating their food, I have a solution. How about you go order a taco salad from Trump Tower? Don't worry, it's as authentic as your president's tan. This has been WCPT telling you how you can shop blue.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. We continue our conversation with our guest co-host, My Hump Day Honey. Ken Mejia Beal joins us in studio, and he has invited a wonderful guest in studio who's running for DuPage County Board, District 3. Marcus King joins us. Go to marcuskingfordupage.com for more information about his campaign.
Yes.
And how long have you known Marcus?
I don't know. I don't know how long I've known anybody because I've been
come in your life.
Yeah, I've been very lucky in some ways and very unlucky in other ways where people just come in and I think, oh wow, I'm so happy I met this person. Or I think, oh wow, I wish I never ever met this person. But with Marcus, I'm so happy I met him.
Ken actually ran in the part of DuPage that I grew up in.
Okay.
But I'm not running out of that part of DuPage.
Yeah, yes.
This is a great photo on your website, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Committed to change. I love it.
You know, I mean, we won't even. Marcus takes great photos. That's all I'll say.
Excellent.
He's very photogenic.
And you've worked in state government for 15 years, which means he is also vested, by the way. We're talking about pensions.
Yes,
earlier.
he is.
Yeah.
Wow, what was that? Yeah. So tell me a little bit. You run the Summit of Hope. Tell folks a little bit more about the work that you do there.
So when I was there, I was at the Illinois Department of Corrections from 2012 to 2018. And I did a lot when I was at the Department of Corrections. But I think one of the things I was an executive, but I was a hands-on executive. Like I never believed this is somebody else's job. So it was a resource fair for people on mandatory supervised release. Because in Illinois, they call it parole, but Illinois doesn't really have parole. It's MSR, but they're trying to get parole. I know it's a lot to process.
Wow.
Wait, can you elaborate on that?
Yes.
Oh, so Illinois they have parole agents, that's what they're called, but Illinois doesn't really have parole. They have something called mandatory release, MSR. So people are going back and forth trying to get parole instated in Illinois, but I'm not sure what the status, because there are pros and cons, there are proponents and there are opponents to it. But regardless, my focus, 40% of the inmate population is nonviolent. And I think one of the when you have people who are going to come back to the communities anyway, I think if you want to build safer communities and make America great, you have to put people to work.
Yeah.
You have to
That's right.
create an environment where people are able to take care of their kids.
That's right.
And you just have to create a loving environment. I remember when I was at the Illinois Department of Corrections, my jurisdiction was statewide. And this program, everything was at this program, from housing, jobs, I'm really big on mental health issues too.
Yes, you are.
Substance abuse, anything you can think of for a person to get back on their feet, birth certificates, driver's licenses. We had it at this event. And I'll never forget, I was in the barbershop in Springfield, and the guy was like, because the media coverage, I was the media spokesperson for the Illinois Department of Corrections, so the media coverage was really great in certain areas like Springfield and, Quad Cities, places like that. And I'll never forget, a guy was like, hey, you're Marcus King. You changed my life. And
wow.
And I was like, hey, how did I do that? And he said, I was on parole. Mandatory, they just call it that. It's like, but mandatory supervised release. And he was like, I was on parole and I came to one of your events. My parole agent mandated me to do it. I've never had anything in my life. 2 years after being your event, because he was at that event 2 years prior, he said, this is my first house. I'm renting a house.
Oh.
Yeah.
I bought my car. I have a car and I have custody of my kids. And, I'm making $60 an hour. I've never had anything in life. I never thought I would have anything. So thank you. So
that's amazing.
That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And that's why you have to elect Marcus King.
Because he does that kind
and
of
Marcus
work.
King for DuPage.com.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And it's 15 years in state government. And this is such an important seat. So tell folks a little bit about what the county board members do and how they impact lives.
Oh, there's a lot. It's a lot of it. So I think when it comes to housing authorities, right? Housing authorities are really tied to HUD. They fall under HUD, and this is nationally. They have to follow HUD guidelines, but this is just a small part of it. But, housing, the county board has a lot to say with the housing authorities. They make appointments to the housing authority board. And just, when it comes to the FUP vouchers, that you need someone. So housing is a difficult entity to understand. Like if you work in housing, if I say more mobility, right? If you're in housing, you understand that. If you work there, person from the community isn't going to understand something like that. If I say FUP voucher, if you don't work in housing, you're not going to understand that, right? So you should elect somebody who actually understands this, since it's a big part. When we deal with housing, a lot of people, I understand some of the dynamics, and I really want to change the narrative. A lot of people is like, hey, we don't want housing here, or we don't want to deal with this because it's going to bring down our property value, but we got to really change that stigma. We have an environment in DuPage County where we have an aging population that can't really afford to live. So we need an expert to come in and deal with that. We need someone to care for our seniors. Even though it's this particular county, it's DuPage County, there are youth who don't have anywhere to go, right? And they're too embarrassed to say anything. They'll be 18 very soon if they're not 18, and we need to get these vouchers in their hand. And the vouchers actually come from DCFS, the Department of Children and Family Services, and you need an MOU, a memorandum of understanding between the Housing Authority. Yeah. So you just need somebody who understands these things. So
it sounds like you need an abbreviation dictionary too.
Yeah, really.
Right. My goodness.
Amazing. We're talking to Marcus King, who is running for the DuPage County Board District 3.
Yes.
You can go to the website, marcuskingfordupage.com. Again, the website is marcuskingfordupage.com. Maybe we can open the phone lines too, because I want to make sure folks who might want to join the conversation, whether it's about this topic or what's in the news. Marcus has to wear some headphones. Sorry about that, Marcus. But when we come back, we'll take a break here in just a moment. Now, thank you all so much for joining us for this conversation. Whether you're tuning in on KKNW 1150, KTNF AM 950, maybe our friends who are joining us digitally, including Facebook, YouTube, and now Minocqua Brewing Company live stream. We're so happy to have you here. And we'll be back here on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal in Chicago. With me in studio, my guest co-host, my hump day honey, Ken Mejia Beal, and again Marcus King, who is running for DuPage. MarcusKingForDuPage.com is the website. We'll be right back.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update. This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
Latinos have been here always, before, during, and after the founding of the United States. We are small business owners rising before dawn to power the economy, hands that pick, manage, and prepare the food that nourishes America. Builders of our homes, our cities, our roads, our communities. Workers who labor daily to strengthen the very fabric of our nation. We are caregivers, teachers, doctors, engineers, neighbors, families raising the next generation. Latinos contribute over $4 trillion to America's GDP, bringing promise, innovation, and vitality to every corner of the U.S. We are the backbone, an indelible part of the American story. We are America. America is us. Learn more by going to americaisus.org and discover how Latinos have shaped America's journey and continue to forge its future.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. Let their story unfold and gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. Hire skills first. Learn why at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk, where facts matter.
Here's great news for those Chicagoans heading up to southern Wisconsin. Should you ever forget to load up on progressive brews from the local favorites like Rogers Park Provisions or Park West Liquor in Lincoln Park, Minocqua Brewing Company beer is now conveniently available at Dream Liquor and Cigar in Kenosha and in the Lake Geneva area at Delavan Liquor and Smoke in Delavan. If the great town of Madison, Wisconsin is your jam, please remember to swing into the Minocqua Brewing Company tap room at 2927 East Washington Avenue to grab some Resistance beer, pizza, t-shirts, and progressive camaraderie.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. We continue our drive home. Joining me in studio is my hump day honey, Ken Mejia Beal, and he shall be addressed as such.
At all times.
Honey.
At all times.
He is also the Midwest chair for the Victory Fund. Go to victoryfund.org and support the work that they do.
Thank you.
To elect folks who will represent our communities fairly, justly, and proudly. And
all the least.
All the least. I'm telling you. Have you ever? Do you watch? Do you ever see the movie 1776? It is a musical. It's a silly. It's a kind
Marcus
of fun.
is way more cultured than I am, so maybe he has. I'm not cultured at all.
Yes.
It's a kind of there's a song Lee's, All the Lees.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Always to the right, never to the left is one of my favorite songs, but it's always because they're conservative. They're slave owners.
Got it. Oh.
And they want to make sure Rum and Slaves is a big song in that one. But basically the fight over why we did what we did in the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence.
Got it.
And they do a pretty good job of, I think breaking it down in a simplistic way of that fight by Southerners to want to be able to own human beings in bondage. And John Adams fighting against that, Benjamin Franklin. Sort of an interesting depiction of it. Yeah.
I have to check it out one day.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I do have. Let's take some phone calls before. I know you're taking off, but I'm going to take phone calls in just a moment. But I do want to talk about some things at the federal level, which obviously, as a county board member in DuPage, affects everybody, the office that you're running for. So tell us a little bit about what your perspective is when it comes to how this administration is impacting lives, whether it's the work that you did in the criminal justice system or housing.
It's a lot to process. I think. So, I mean, at one point I had a federal job. I was tied to the Center of Health and Justice. And I think I noticed there were three sides. There were three teams. There was one team that dealt with handcuffs and bars. There was another side that dealt with the diversion side of things. Then there was another side that dealt with the treatment side. So we were a federal entity. It was bipartisan, too. And the side that dealt with the, reintegration into society, fighting recidivism, the policing side, and I think it's great because you need all of it, but Trump didn't cut that. The side that was really geared towards just helping people working with nonprofits, which nonprofits is a big one to me, he immediately cut it. And so he terminated the whole team and left the other ones intact. And he didn't even care who was here, because they were Republicans. I had a Republican that actually I was helping in Kentucky. Not many, but if you have the same mission, it's never about politics. It's about doing the right thing. But he just didn't care. He just saw a team and just terminated it. But I think when it comes to housing, when you look at HUD, what I'm hearing from a lot of people who work at housing and urban development, which housing authorities, fall under. They have to submit paperwork to them, annual plan to them at the end of the year to get their funding. But, housing authority. So, for example, the housing authority in this area, they may be responsible for all of Cook County's housing authorities because you have the Cook Housing Authority of Cook County, but then you have CHA, the Chicago Housing Authority, which is definitely one of the largest housing authorities in the nation. Maywood, I believe, has their own housing authority. Berwyn has their own housing authority. Wow. Then you have DuPage. They have a housing authority. You have to deal with Aurora. They have their housing authorities and so forth. But he's been cutting, these field, people for HUD, so they're operating on a skeleton crew. So we have different things. I mean, when you make these types of cuts, you hurt housing authorities because when you look at a voucher, right, a housing choice voucher, formerly known as Section 8, these vouchers are not supposed to be forever. They're supposed to help a person get through an adverse part of their life. However, housing authorities are supposed to implement something called FSS, Family Self-Sufficiency. This helps people with these vouchers or who live in properties. It helps them work. It helps them with education. It gets them training. It gets them job skills. It helps them with their kids. But the housing authority, even though it's mandated, they still have to apply for this FSS voucher, Family Self-Sufficiency. But you're making the job for HUD harder.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's problematic, and you're devastating people, and you're hurting our seniors because they
very much so.
Yeah, because they say that people with a housing choice voucher are just like welfare people. They don't want to work, but that's not true. To have a voucher, you have to work, because you work 30% of your income actually goes towards the rent, then HUD kicks in the rest. And as you start making more money through these programs that Trump is cutting, then you start paying more and more. Then you give up your voucher, then someone else can get it. A aging person, a elderly veteran, one of these children who is trying to make it through college.
I don't think people realize that.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize
I agree completely. And DuPage used to be reliably a red suburb.
Yeah.
And it's changed. And I know Ken has had something to do with that as well.
Well,
that he
not
did
just.
There. I know a lot of people.
Yeah, lots of wonderful.
You're part of that team.
Yes.
Team Blue, just saying. What are you hearing at events and voters that you come across, maybe on the doors? But what do they really want right now?
I think a lot of voters are really, looking at this party. They don't, a lot of people who are comfortable being Republicans, I'm not saying everyone, but what I'm getting is a lot of people just feel like this is wrong. This is a clown show. This is despicable. I substitute teach sometimes, and this is a story that I love to tell. Sometimes I teach kindergarten through 5th grade, but when I have like a little student who could be, you hear the stories of ICE just taking parents away.
Yeah.
So it's like at the end of the day, if I have like a student and, because you have to wait with them until their parent or guardian picks them up, I wait until, this kid or kids are with their parents or guardians, and I see them drive away, because I want to ensure that they're safe. But I think, some people are just disgusted with how the optics. I mean, these optics are poor. They're intentional.
Yes.
They're designed to scare people. And, it's just no words. But I think even though we may be, in different parties, I think the decent people in the other party want to just see it go away. Like even my opponent, like one of the reasons that I'm running, and I don't want to say, bad things about people, but she's a MAGA. She had a fundraiser for Ted Cruz at her house. So you support all of this, at the end of the day. And she has no experience. She hasn't done anything. So I'm running on my background. And the reason that I'm running, I have this crazy dream that I can play a part in making the world a better place. And that's what I'm going to do.
Thank you for trying to make it a reality.
I love that. Marcus King is running for DuPage County Board District 3. Marcus King for DuPage.com. We have one phone call. I know you have to run, but I'm going to take Jim, because Jim wants to talk about voters too. Hey, Jim, you're on the line with we're on with Ken Mejia.
Hey, Jim.
And with Marcus King. What's on your front mind, my friend?
At last count, 18 states have voluntary turned over their voter rolls. Now, to whom, God only knows.
Yep.
Is it the DOJ? Is it Cash Patel? Is it Stephen Miller? What are they going to do with these voter rolls? That's what I want to know. And why is 34% of the country, the Republican friends of mine still believe that illegal people have voted in the 2020 election? They still believe this. I mean, to their core, they believe this. And the run-up to the 2024 election, they beat that drum constantly that illegal people voted. And in my long walk on the earth, I've never heard of such insanity in my life. Never. I'm 76 years old. I've never heard about voting rolls being forensically examined. I've never heard of the Republicans, obviously, we all know that the suppression of the vote helps the Republican Party. There's no question about it. The less people vote, the better they do.
Oh yeah, so Republicans, absolutely. That's why. That's why they want to crack. They want to make people afraid to vote.
Yes.
And he's also said that the less educated, the uneducated, like him as well.
He loves the uneducated, and he also loves inflation. He said both.
Well, he's right in the same boat. What an embarrassment he was at the UN. I don't want to go. What an embarrassment to the country. I mean, just a complete embarrassment. But then they're talking about. They want to know. They're threatening people. They want to get the background of people, like for instance, the people that are running the vote. They want to know what they had for breakfast. Honest to God.
I know.
I mean, this is how insane this has gotten. But America, to turn around the ship, we've got to get a great Democratic vote out. Anyway, you guys have a good day.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Now, Marcus, I know that you've got to run. So if you don't mind, take a minute or two to make your pitch to the voters of DuPage County. You can turn to this camera if you want to use that for media later. Take that microphone and let folks know why you should be the next DuPage County Board Member, District 3, and how they can help you. Call to action.
I would like you to vote for me. I think there are a lot of things that I actually bring to the table, but a lot of it is innovation. There's an overwhelming amount of things in my career that I've done that I wasn't asked to do. I just did it because it was the right thing. That reentry program for people on parole and probation, when I was at the Illinois Department of Corrections, that wasn't my job, but I did it. I was the media spokesperson, and I was the legislative person. When I was the House Authority of Cook County, I created a $5.8 million mental health program, and we got an award for it, right? But again, that wasn't part of the job either. I was the director of strategy and communication. I was the media spokesperson. I oversaw the funding that came in from the Housing Authority. But just that, when I was in the office of the governor, I worked well with people, but I took a proactive stance to understand how all of the state agencies work, right? Particularly the social services agencies, because I wanted to be able to give back. And when you vote for me, I'll never say, not my job, right? If there's a state agency that has the resources for you, if it's something that we can't deal with in the county, I know exactly where to send you in the state agency because I worked there and I was passionate about it. So that's one of the reasons that you should vote for me. I'll never let you down. I'll always support you. And my energy comes from the people.
That's Marcus King for DuPage. Go to marcuskingfordupage.com. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you for running. I wish you the best of luck. And let us know if there's anything we can do in the future. If you've got an event coming up or you got a call to action, let us know.
Thank you. I really appreciate you.
And thank you for the work that you've done for people in the state of Illinois. More after this on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150, KTNFM 950, and all of our friends watching digitally. We're here on WCPT Heartland Signal. More after this.
Think Theory Radio.
I'm very privileged to have on a special guest, Tim Ains.
We put together a team of experienced investigators. There's certain things that happen to abductees that they all talk about. And people have seen things like missing time, or they might have marks on their body. And it's interesting when somebody in India and somebody in Des Plaines, Illinois, and somebody in Fiji all have the same mark.
Think Theory Radio with Damian Perdue. Saturdays at 6 p.m. on WCPT 820.
Hey Progressives, it's Richard Chu, host of Chu's Views weekdays 6 to 8 a.m. Central. We're all anxious for the 2026 midterm election to arrive so we can restore some sanity and much needed oversight to our government. In fact, it's the most important midterm election in American history, and Chu's Views will be in the thick of it, bringing you candidate interviews on a regular basis. I'll be talking to Democratic Party hopefuls running for House and Senate at the federal and state level, as well as candidates for governor and other state and local offices.
I am in love with our ability to fight for our rights, to fight for our future, to fight for our freedoms, to fight as our ancestors fought. It's just our moment. This is just our time to stand up and to speak up. We can't give up on this.
If you miss any of the interviews live, you'll be able to find them all on WCPT's Candidate Interviews page at heartlandsignal.com/candidates. That's Choose Views weekdays from 6 to 8 a.m. on WCPT, Chicago's progressive talk for 20 years.
Tell me how you're doing, really. Tell me that you missed the bus this morning, your rent's past due, and your stress level has skyrocketed. I'm here for you, to listen, not judge, to connect you to local mental health resources. No matter what you're going through, specialists like me from NAMI Chicago Helpline are here for you. Call or text Helpline to 833-626-4244. That's 833-626-4244.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. We continue our conversation here on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150 in Seattle, KTNF AM 90 Minneapolis, St. Paul. We're so grateful to have you all here, as well as our friends who are tuning in on our digital platforms, including Facebook and YouTube if you're there. Oh, and as well as our friends now tuning in on Minocqua Brewing Company's Substack. Please consider subscribing and sharing our page with those in your family and friends circle so they can join the conversation too. Joining me in studio is my Hump Day honey, Ken Mejia Beal, joins us today. Thank you so much. Wednesdays are fun. I appreciate
Wednesdays are fun.
Thank you so much. And thank you for bringing Marcus King in and the great guests.
He's one of my really good friends. I have some really great friends.
You really do.
I have some great friends.
Speaking of friends, because this is weird. That was a weird pivot for me. You asked me if we could talk about the story about this young man, Nolan Wells.
It's the sadness is on me. I've learned, one of my mentors says never to say you're sad about something because that implies that it's who you are. So you say the sadness is on you,
okay,
which means you can get it off.
Okay.
But the sadness is on me. I do want to, the Nolan Wells story. It is trying to cliff notes. A young black man went on a water trip with his white friends. I'm using friends in bunny ears, and he ended up dead. And the tragedy here is that none of these friends called any authority. They went home. His parents are the ones that reported him missing. They found the body, I believe, yesterday. I believe there was some form of foul play. I think anyone that has watched an episode of Dateline 2020 or has any common sense, imagine you're on a boat with a friend and something bad happens. The first thing you do is call the Coast Guard. You call 911. You don't call your parents and say, I need a lawyer.
Oh, my God.
That's not what you do. Mm-hmm. And it's when we talk about, and something I wrote about the other day is I am not comparing the two, but I have been what I like to say, a black body in white spaces where I am invited but not protected. And it's a very scary feeling. And I cannot imagine the last few moments of this young man's life. Drowning, dying, unprotected. And I would be remiss not to mention this young man's name on the air, Nolan Wells, because that could be any young black child or any marginalized child that's just out there. It could happen. It is a tragic story, and it's something that I think white parents need to hear, because the fact that those kids were okay with just whatever they did, I don't know what they did. They left him there, and they called his parents, and none of those parents even called 911 or the Coast Guard. That's the scary part. And so the sadness is on me about this story, because as far as we move, we're not moving. So thank you for allowing me to tell that story.
No, we are not. If anything, we're moving backwards.
I feel that way.
I mean, the energy behind so many of these stories. And you know what? I know that there are people listening right now who, you don't know the whole story. I think what Ken was also expressing is knowing what it's like to be in those situations. I think you said it very clearly. Is not being in white spaces and not feeling protected. And I try to think of like experiences that I had where, I think of my friend Jason Robinson, who came to this neighborhood, and we were hanging out at my house. My mom and I were like the 0.8% Latinos, or 0.08% in Norwood Park in the 70s and 80s. And we were 14 years old, and he came to our house, and then someone called my parents to tell them I had a black man in the house. He was 14, and there is also this sort of impression of like any black body is a threat to the people.
That
why are you calling my parents?
Yes,
and sadly, my dad's response was, he's hired help. That was my dad's response, and I'll never forget that. It's something that I work towards. It's not something that I do. It's something that's constant, because doing implies that you've done enough.
Right. I understand.
I think we have to keep being mindful and listening and learning. If your heart shuts down and you're angry at anything that someone says about the sadness being on them about this story, doesn't understand, dismisses a lived experience.
And the thing is, I don't think any of us have to be there. Let's just talk about the facts.
The facts.
The facts are that these young men that he was with did not call for help.
Right.
That alone should trigger some kind of bells. They called their parents. Their parents did not call for help.
Right.
That should set off. So you really don't, a metaphor that my grandmother always used to use is, I don't know how to drive a bus. But if I see a bus in somebody's living room, I know something bad has happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to know how to drive a bus. I don't need to know the road conditions. All I know is if there's a bus in a living room, something didn't go right.
Right.
So I can look at the situation, not know all the facts, but be able to look at it and go, yes, something bad happened here. Something unsettling has happened here. And the reality is they will probably get away with it.
I'm just trying to think of all the things that, because I would imagine that these young folks were texting each other, and I hope that that's something that can be secured through discovery and investigation. All those things.
I hope so as well.
Yeah, because I think that gives a lot of clues as to who they were texting, what they were saying, and
they've
obviously
all deactivated their social media. Like, see, these are things that scream. I'm not saying guilt because I don't know what happened. And I'm not saying they did anything on purpose. What I am saying is something not well happened here.
You're saying there's a bus in the living room.
There's a bus in the living room. And I'm thinking about his last minutes on Earth.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for allowing that.
And giving people some insight into the experience of seeing a story like that. I don't think people understand.
It's very traumatizing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of folks, not just black folks, but a lot of folks that have been in rooms where they're invited but not protected and have been not necessarily treated well in those rooms. If things go down, you are alone.
Right. Yeah.
You got nobody. And that's not a good place to be.
Sorry. I hope that people can hear this conversation with softened hearts. That's all I ask for people. I don't. Even if it's not open,
just be soft.
Just be soft.
Yes.
Just go. Absorb it.
Kindness.
Let me take some. Here's a listener that's always kind. Steve.
Steve is always kind.
Hey,
yes.
Steve, what's on your mind, my friend?
On the tail end of that, I wanted to say, Ken, what a great job being the Hump Day Honey. That's great work if you did it.
Thanks, Steve.
Isn't he great? He's a great co-host.
I want to be somebody's Hump Day Honey.
Steve, I'm taking applications.
I think we're making shirts. That's the shirt. The Hump Day Honey shirts.
A couple more things real quick. I mentioned this before to you. You had the most wonderful, contagious laugh.
Thanks, Steve.
It's right up there with Patti's jingle. When the 5 o'clock, her jingle makes me happy.
Oh, that's great.
Listening to your laugh makes me happy.
Thanks, Steve.
Well
really
done,
does.
Steve.
It really does. So one day I hope to meet you.
Come on over.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna be. Are you gonna come with me to the Kane County Fair? Oh no, McHenry County Fair. I'm gonna be. We're gonna be doing a live broadcast. Look at you like McHenry.
You didn't even tell me about it, but send me details.
August 6th. August 6th, I'll be in Woodstock, Illinois for the McHenry County Fair. We'll be doing a live broadcast. There's gonna be a rodeo, horse pulls, demolition derby, fair food, live music. So yeah, folks, come on out to the McHenry County Fair.
Cool.
It is running August 4th through the 9th, and I will be broadcasting live on the 6th.
Okay, very good.
Is that right? Or 7th? Maybe it's the 7th. It's the Friday.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I feel energized. Can you say you were born in the 80s? I was born in 1953, and you make me feel young. Makes me feel young.
I turn 55 next month.
That
is happening. I know. AARP's gonna be sending me my discounts and everything. Everybody.
And the hover round.
I'm going to be 73 on August 4th.
Hey, we're Leos.
Yeah.
Happy early birthday, Steve. I'm going to talk to you before then, but happy early birthday.
All right, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. I'm actually folks, on August 16th, I will be inducted into the Early Bird Special Comedy Show at the Laugh Factory. It's for comedians 55 and over. So I will be there. I've been doing stand-up comedy now for 32 years.
Congratulations.
In Chicago, and I'm really proud of that.
You're still funny as hell.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm trying to keep up with the kids, you know what I mean? The social media thing is different. You know who we have not talked to in a while, who we need in studio along with us? Dwayne Kennedy.
Yeah, bring him.
So where in the world is Dwayne Kennedy? That's what I want to know.
I just, while we're talking about age, we have a few minutes left. As a huge fan, I have to say this. The #1 album in America next week will be the Madonna album. And she is 67 years old.
I mean, come on.
You're never too old to have fun. You're never too old to party. And you're never too old to be funny, Patti.
I love that. You know, I was just thinking about the first time Madonna came in. So I was not somebody who listened to a lot of pop music in the 80s when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My dad listened to Bing Crosby and Willie Nelson, which is
fair. Love Willie
and
Nelson.
my mom listened to Placido Domingo and Pavarotti. Like, that was the music in my household.
Got it.
A little, not quite like, and I didn't even listen to B96 because my dad would tell me to turn that crap off.
Of course.
But I remember I was 9 or 10 years old, and everyone called we all had nicknames at camp, and one of the girls was called Madonna because she had short, beautiful curly hair, and she would do some of the dance moves of Madonna. And that was my first introduction to Madonna. I can't remember what was like. What would be some of her first songs? Not like
Holiday, Like a Virgin.
Holiday, like a Virgin. Yeah, those are the two big ones. I would say,
back early
1982, 83, 84.
84, 85.
Okay, so maybe it was my third year at Girl Scout camp when I started to hear some of that music. But yeah, how crazy is that?
But I think to be women and to be over the age of 30 and still be thriving is a huge accomplishment and a huge middle finger to the establishment. So you keep doing what you're doing.
I will take it. Thank you very much. That's Ken Mejia Beal. Go to victoryfund.org to learn more about the work that he does as the Midwest chair. And thank you so much, Ken. It's my hump day, honey. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Thank you to our sponsors, Pride Coffee Roasters, Are You Really Winning, Berman Auto Group, Kia and Subaru, over by there, and our friends at Source Solar, and of course, Minocqua Brewing Company. Talk to you all. Steve, Madonna. Let's take a break. Let's say goodnight. Love you, Lady Beat. Bye, everybody.
Cancer affects all of us. Today alone, 5,370 people in the United States will be diagnosed with cancer. That's why Stand Up to